Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends, my name is Dr. Ian Phillips, and today we have a brand new video here coming from Mike Johnson. I've seen this here on C-SPAN online. Somebody retweeted it for me here, and it says that the Pentagon is requesting not just 350,000, not 350 million, but $350 billion for things like fighting communism on our own shores, which is absolutely terrifying considering the fact that it is none of the government's goddamn business is whether or not you're a communist, or whether or not you're a capitalist, or whether you're a socialist. And you know what the worst part is? If you were to take Donald Trump right now, I would bet my entire net worth that he couldn't even tell you what the definition of communism is. You know, nowadays we've strayed so far away from reality that people just say communism is anything that we dislike. Now, I'm not a communist here. I'm not a socialist. I am a capitalist, somebody who just wants a very strong social safety net. I find the best term to, call myself here is a social libertarian. But labels are essentially irrelevant in today's world, nor does a label define you, because everybody always has those positions whereby they're on the right or they're on the left. Not everybody is one way all the time. And so we're going to play this little clip here for you guys today. Again, this is, I see Headquarters News Now. I posted it here on Twitter, but it's from C-SPAN, and it's just so damning, dude. Like, it's just so insane that we're going to be fighting communism on our own shores. So we need $350 billion. And it's like, what does that mean? Does that mean that we're going to be putting more flock cameras on every single street corner? Does that mean that we're going to be having the NSA tap into more civilian phones? Does that mean that we're going to be suppressing more free speech by attacking journalists and arresting them like the Donald Trump administration has already done so many times since his second term in office? What exactly does that mean? How many more times can our Fourth Amendment be violated? How many more times can our freedom of speech be trampled on? I guess we're going to find out here, but we're going to play this little video so you guys can see it here in his own words here, Mike Johnson, and then we'll talk about it just a little bit more.
There's been a lot of discussion about what's going to be included in this reconciliation bill. Can you walk through how important and how imminent it is that the Pentagon needs additional funding and what that number precisely is going to be in the reconciliation bill?
The question was, can you list the specifics of what the request is for the Pentagon? We've seen it's over $350 billion as a request. And some of this is transformational kind of funding that will help us change the dynamic of the Department of War and make it more efficient and effective. It's already the greatest fighting force on the planet, not even close.
It's already the greatest fighting force on the planet. It's not even close.
But there are some ideas, a real vision on how to improve that even further, to bolster that. You've heard the president talk about how he wants to effectively double the funding for national defense. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores, and we're fighting evil terrorists and tyrants around the world. And we have to be able to protect our national security. So this is not the place to get into the details of that.
Like, okay, like we're fighting dangerous people around the world, but at what point do we say, hey, look, I want to stop bombing 7 countries and attacking 7 countries since my second term in office and supporting 3 other proxy wars in places like Lebanon and Palestine, and like the Ukraine and Russia? Like, how about we say, can we just be America first? Right? Can I say that I'm going to focus on America and my own citizens first? And then, but the problem is, if you do that, then you're going to say, okay, but yeah, we got some dangerous enemies, bro. Like, we need to focus on national defense. And it's like, okay, fair game. And so there's the guys, right? There's the guys. They're going to say that that's a good thing then. And then, people will hear that and say, well, Ian, don't you agree with that? Like, you just said that you agree with that. But the answer is, I don't. You know why? Because we spend more than I believe it's 11 or 13 countries combined. The next highest 11, 13 countries combined on our military, which is absolutely absurd. We do not need that much funding, especially when our military is as robust as it currently is. And especially if you were to stop fighting wars overseas, then maybe you could take some of that money and put it back domestically if you really were concerned about our domestic defenses, which again is a valid concern. Like, if I were president of the United States, yeah, dude, like I'm slashing the military budget like crazy. But you know what? I also want to be spending money overseas. And so I would bolster our defenses here at home. We would have the best defenses on the entire planet, bar none. It wouldn't even be close, right? Every fucking major city, the top 100 would probably have their own, Iron Dome, right? Just like Israel has. Like, that's probably what I would do if I were the president of the United States. But having said that, you can't do that if you're going to be fighting all these foreign hostile wars. And it only gets worse here when it says, like, for things like fighting communism on our own shores. So we can replay that here. So just listen to that. It's insane.
It's already the greatest fighting force on the planet, not even close. But there are some ideas, a real vision on how to improve that even further, to bolster that. You've heard the president talk about how he wants to effectively double the funding for national defense. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores, and
we're fighting communism on our own shores. Like, it's just so insane to me. It's like, okay, so are you admitting now to violating the rights of individuals? And so otherwise, you have to admit that there is a foreign government on our shores, right? Because that's what you're saying. You're saying either there's a foreign government on our shores or we're attacking our own citizens, right? That's what you have to be saying. That, or you have misconstrued the notion of what communism actually is so far that it's an adjective to describe anything that you dislike, right? And that's probably what we end up that is probably what we have happening here. It's not necessarily that they're saying, oh, well, Russia's on our shores right now. Russia's not even a communist state, but like Russia's on our shores right now, or like wherever, right? They're here right now attacking us. We're fighting it on our own shores. We need to bolster these defense capabilities, blah, 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 blah. We need another $350 billion of taxpayer money. Like, no, bro, no. Like, I don't want to hear it, right? That's not happening. So I won't even want to entertain that idea. In addition to that, you could say, okay, well, we're fighting our own citizens who are trying to promote this intellectual depravity that is communism. And it's like, okay, it doesn't matter, right? Because, unless they're committing an actual crime, it is not a crime to believe something politically. It's not a crime, and it should never be a crime because that is protected underneath our First Amendment rights. And so if you're America First and you actually believe in the Constitution, then that is something that you should hold dear to your heart. And you should say, it doesn't matter if somebody's a communist, a capitalist, a socialist, a libertarian, an authoritarian, whatever it may be. It's like, that is their freedom of speech. Now, you might not like them. You might say, oh, fuck those people. I don't like them at all. It's like, but at the end of the day, that is their freedom of speech, and you have to protect that. And so, if they're already doing this here, they're already fighting all these people, then what exactly are they doing, right? Like, again, like the whole flock camera debate recently has been going absolutely mad, saying like, oh, like, they're tracking people and they're using it to get you in all these different crimes. The government also too, obviously Edward Snowden, did the whole thing, whole shebang here, released the whole shebang. We know the government spies on you with respects to your cellular devices and your computers, and even evidence of televisions and just any little type of monitoring device you could possibly think of. The government has full access to that through the NSA. At what point do we say we have to stop trampling our rights? Enough is enough. Fourth Amendment needs to be protected, and the First Amendment also needs to be protected. And screw the government and the people who are allowing these violations of our rights to occur. And they need to be taken out of power, and they need to be arrested, and they need to be held accountable. It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's depravity. But with that said, guys, if you did enjoy the video here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You can follow me on social media at Ian Phillips USA for some more content. And with that said, guys, we're almost at 500 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. My name is Dr. Ian Phillips, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.